Hello, and welcome to another episode of Day Drinking with Kevin. I'm your host, Kevin McGuire, and today's episode is entitled Beware of a Kiwi and His Saber. Today I'm going to be introducing you to a very dear friend of mine, Michael Pearce, who is the owner and proprietor of both the Wine House in Fairfax City, one of the oldest restaurants in Fairfax City, and also Vino Bistro in Leesburg. Michael today is going to be showing us how to saber a bottle of sparkling wine, and I can't wait for him to share this with you. Michael, when people ask me about you, one of the things that I tell them is that you're one of the most passionate small business owners I know. Throughout this entire COVID experience, you and Dinah, your general manager, worked incredibly hard to keep all of the restaurants open and the people employed. And I know from firsthand experience that they really appreciate everything that you have done. How has COVID affected you and the restaurant industry over the last year?
Well, it's been pretty disastrous, isn't it? We've been very fortunate enough to have been established in the city of Fairfax for a long time, in our 13th year there, and that combined with an incredibly great following by the locals. And for us, the metrics that worked was having Dinah, the general manager, who was really creative and being able to pivot and offer new and exciting things that kept our base and kept our regulars loyal and keep them coming back over and over again with different offerings and different things. But on the whole, of course, it's been pretty disastrous for the business as a whole. It's just the new norm of how we operate and how we live and what we need to do to get by to feed our families. So it's the world we live in.
And you had to re-engineer your business in several different ways to keep people interested in the Wine House. Things like video tastings and other things. Have they been successful for you?
Yeah, really good. We had a Wednesday check-in where every Wednesday we'd sit around and taste wine and intro the events that were coming up, be it virtual tastings or be it special packs, be it Easter wine packs or be it Easter lamb packs or whatever was coming up. So we definitely connected virtually on Facebook Live. It was first time I'd done anything Facebook Live or like that. It's all pretty new and exciting, but and that then segued into our Saturday tastings that we have got a great following in store, physical following in store, but we did that virtually when everything was shut down as well. So people would come in and buy their packs and go home and then dial into Facebook Live, and then they'd all participate and be a part of the tasting. And it was neat because, me being from a farming, hill country farming, background in New Zealand, to be able to see all of a sudden a virtual tasting and to see people's comments flowing up on Facebook Live and questions as they're coming being answered. And yeah, it's a new world, a new era, and quite eye-opening, really,
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about the wine you brought today.
Well, I don't know much about this wine, but
really?
possibly a little bit of sarcasm there, right? Bouvet is a sparkling Cremant de Loire we have from Loire Valley in France. Not called champagne, it's called a Cremant because obviously it can't be called a champagne unless it comes from the Champagne region of France. So it is made in the traditional method of making champagne, so it was fermented in this bottle. A little bit of time on its skins, which is where the colour comes from, 6 to 9 hours on Cabernet Franc skins, and before it's fermented in this bottle in the traditional method. Traditional method, of course, fermented in this bottle, and I've got like a little beer bottle cap that goes on top of it. The 3 byproducts of primary fermentation are going to be heat, which evaporates, dispersed through the bottle, CO2, which is when the beer bottle top is on, that's what the bubbles come from, it's absorbed into the wine itself. And the other thing, of course, the byproduct of primary fermentation, which is what we love on Saturday night and hate on Sunday mornings, alcohol, right? So and then they disgorge it, and they in the traditional method of making champagne, they will actually freeze it in a brine-like solution, pop the top off after they've been through the riddling process and moving all that sediment down into the neck of the bottle. So a really a good way to enjoy a inexpensive bottle of traditional Cremant or method of making champagne from the various communes around France, and they're called Cremant. We have Cremant de Loire, we have Cremant de Savoie, we have Cremant de Bordeaux, we have all these different communes that are using varieties grown in the area, made in the traditional method, but they can't call it champagne.
One of the things that I love about Bouvet is the ability to be able to pour a glass for somebody who's coming into the house to say kind of, welcome to my house, the party's about to get started.
Right.
And given that it was made from the Cabernet Franc grape, it gives so many different more opportunities for the appetizers or the first courses that can be served with this wine. What types of foods might you serve with this wine?
Well, I think we start off on the day with brunch with an omelette, probably about 10 o'clock and a glass of Bouvet, and I think we probably finish it at the end of the night to cleanse the palate and refreshen things up after a heavy dinner. So pretty volatile, pretty versatile. You can pretty much use it wherever you like. But for me, I think I need a good attitude. I need sunshine to start. Maybe might be a good thing. Or any kind of light salad or seafood or shellfish or anything like that. It has got some residual sugar, which is a natural sugars from the grape left into the wine, and not fermented all the way dry. So there is a little bit of residual in there, which just makes it a bit fruitier and a bit softer and rounder and a bit more palatable, but it doesn't taste sweet at all, simply because of the bubbles and simply because of the high acid that we have from Cabernet Franc from the Loire Valley. So a very well balanced wine and easy drinking wine.
I think the Loire Valley is one of my most favorite places to visit in France, and people have always asked me if there was one place that I could drink the wines for the rest of my life. A lot of times I'll say the Loire Valley because of all of the different types of wine that are all made within that same appellation, whether it be the Sauvignon Blanc from Sancerre or the sparkling wine from, or Chinon with, I just think that it has a wide range of wines to choose from.
Yeah, absolutely.
So today you're going to show us how to saber a bottle of sparkling wine. We're very excited about that. So we'll be right back with Michael showing us how to saber a bottle of sparkling wine.
All right, guys, so here we are. We are live in the moment with our bottle of Bouvet that we're going to saber with this rather intimidating little piece of equipment here. Hopefully it'll be successful. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the foil. So we take the foil off here, remove it as we would usually do. Now, if you're going to be doing it for the first time at home, it's better to bring all this foil off, exposing the bare neck itself, right? Now, here what we do, we then find the wire cage, we take the wire cage off. The reason why I like to take the wire cage off is because when you hit the Saber with the glass rim right here, if you hit that wire, it can act as a little bit of a shock absorber, and you're looking for that sudden impact that's going to get a good break and split on the glass. So we take the wire off. Now remember that in the US, I believe the biggest cause of loss of eyesight is from champagne corks going off in bottles. So you always got to remember that that thing is a loaded device and to point it in the safe direction anyway. Next thing we're going to do, and this is really important, we're going to find the little seam, right? So each bottle has a seam. There's the seam there. I can follow that line all the way down, and then I'm going to find that line where it actually connects with the bottle with that neck. There is a little glass rim that you can see all the way here, and what we want to do then is we want to take our little device like so, this puppy, and we want to find that seam, and then we are slowly going to run it all the way down and hit it in about a 45-degree angle like so, underneath that glass rim right there. So there is the seam coming all the way down. I see it there, and I'm going to line it up, and there it goes. And there we have not a bad little break, a nice clean break around the bottle there. Obviously be very careful. No drinking from the bottle at this point, it goes straight into a glass. A lot of people say, what about the glass inside the bottle? Well, can't drink that because it's got glass in it. I don't know of any glass that's actually gone back inside the bottle, and I don't know of anybody that suffered consequences as a result of drinking from a glass once this has been poured into the glass. But there we have it. Day drinking with Kevin. We have one Bouvet Cremant de Loire, nicely sabered, ready for our enjoyment pretty soon, I hope. Cheers to that.
Wow, Michael, that was amazing. I always enjoy when I see a bottle of sparkling wine properly sabered. What is the tradition behind that? Where does sabering come from?
Well, it comes from France, and it's a tradition in the Champagne region around opening a bottle of champagne.
That's fantastic. I think if you don't have a saber like we do, you could also use other things to do the sabering as well.
Well, funny you should say that, because during the COVID shutdown, we had a post of a series of videos, all of us posting and going from a traditional saber, which is a rather serious piece of equipment, ranging all the way down to a butter knife. And so you can definitely saber a bottle with something a lot less intimidating than a saber, if you just got to do it right, that's all.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think if you're going to have a party, there's a sense of pretty impressing your guests. If the first thing you do is saber a bottle of champagne or sparkling wine, everybody kind of goes ooh and ah, and then they're kind of anticipating what the next thing in the party will be. So
right. Yeah.
I know we have a rubber tree in the back that probably has 100 corks that have flown at it over the years, and I'm never going to move them, because each one of those reminds me of the special event where we shared where we shared wine with friends. Well, thank you very, very much for joining us today, and good luck with both the Wine House and Vino Bistro.
Certainly need that.
You have a lot of really amazing events coming up. And our next video, we're going to be talking to the wine director at the Wine House, Cassandra Becker, and she and I are going to be talking about what wines do you use when you're trying to pair with those very special cookies that get delivered at this time of the year. And remember, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me at daydrinkingwithkevin@gmail.com. Please leave some comments on this episode, and if you have any suggestions for future episodes, I would love to hear them. Also, don't forget to subscribe, and if you feel you like this episode, please don't hesitate to give us a thumbs up. Until next time, this is Kevin McGuire from Day Drinking at Kevin, and I wish you all a safe and happy 2021.